So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones. I'm coming for the.
All right, guys, we are back. Welcome back, one and all, for market close on Thursday, August 3rd. Just got back from my swim. That was tough to go drive over to the lap pool, get a half mile in, get a few minutes of sun tanning, and make it back here in time. But we did it. We did it mostly on time for 2 o'clock. 1 hour to go in the market close. We got, Amazon and Apple, I think, reporting at the end of the day today. We'll be on Zern watch about 15 minutes after the market closes. I'll probably hang out till about 3:30 Central or 4:30 Eastern with you guys today, 30 minutes after market close, so we can see some of those earnings results come in. I saw a couple people were mad at my tweet and my call on the Mullen proposals. I heard it very clearly. All proposals passed except number 4. I will be accepting apologies for all of the clown and shill comments, and I will post the 8K for you guys when Mullen releases it. I understand that some other YouTubers had the wrong call when the Mullen call ended. They said proposal 3 failed. That is incorrect information. And, they ran the price up to 17 cents, but they have since retracted their error, and Mullen's back down around 14 cents. Again, I don't care what Mullen does. I have zero position in it. I'm here to provide you guys facts without bias or clickbait. No hopium, just the facts here, guys. Shin Kyoku, what's up? Bell Biv DeVoe, good afternoon. Devil May Rage says, I don't know what to think about the judge ruling. Thought it would be in by now. Like I said this morning early at Market Open, I think the judge is very concerned about having as much as possible appeal-proof opinion. She's worried about the fact that this is somewhat of an unusual case and it will be precedent setting, so she has to take her time, and I respect her doing that. Yes, we'd all like a decision sooner than later, but I'm thinking that Friday after market close, if I had to put money on it, that would be my bet, but I only give that a 50-50 at this point. We'll see. We're on daily watch here in our Discord. Devil May Rage says his concern lies in the corruption where the judge is coerced to rule to make a certain way. Let's not. I'm not going to even entertain that. I already see that happening on the no voter channels. The judge is corrupt. Everything's corrupt. Guys, if everything is corrupt, I urge you, do not play the stock market. It is not for you. And if it is corrupt, which I agree, there's a lot of corruption, learn to play on the field that you're on. You cannot fight a corrupt system. If you think everything is against you, learn to play with that instead of fighting against it, because you cannot beat a machine like that if you are correct. That is why I urge you to always wait for good entries, take profits when you have an opportunity, and let's stop this nonsense of holding 1,000 tickers we've watched over the last 2 years that have negative earnings or no revenue, watching them grind into the dirt, grind into bankruptcy. I want you to get out of that habit. Get in early, get your profits, and look for companies that are profitable for your investments. Keep your speculative investments risk sized so that if you hold it too long or you got a bad entry, you're not decimated. This is common sense, and I want to teach you real common sense, real investing that will have you here 30 years from now, not wiped out in 2 years because you listen to clickbait. Prometheus, what's up? Win more ass. Everybody in retail thinks that they're one ticker. MMTLP is going to break the system. BBIG is going to break the system. Mullen's going to break the system. AMC is going to break the system. They can't all break the system, or everyone thinks theirs is the one true stock. I'm in all these communities. I watch all of the talk and the chatter and the goings on. Everyone thinks they're right. The GameStop guys think they're the one true ticker. I'm just trying to make money. I don't know about y'all. I want to get my fucking money. Get in, get out. Move on to the next play. I ain't trying to die on every fucking windmill that I cross. Jim says it's hard for hedgies to screw with companies like Apple, right? I agree. I mean, it's up to Apple to fuck it up if you're Apple. If you believe in a Tesla or Apple or Amazon or a Floor and Decor or a Costco, it's hard for shorts and hedgies to fuck that up. The companies can fuck it up. That's why you need to know the companies, and you need to still follow them and read the 10Qs, read the filings. But you're much less likely to be whipsawed by manipulation in a solid, profitable company. So I urge you from the bottom of my heart, start seeking those companies out. It's not as fun. You're not going to get rich as fast, but you're not going to lose your ass. Papa Bav says, I've never heard anyone say the judge is corrupt. Well, you haven't been listening very hard. And believe me, it's going to be coming. It's going to be coming fast and furious if she rules against them. I have not checked money advice on DWAC recently, other than knowing, that they got over that regulatory hurdle a week or two ago. I watched it go up and then I watched it come back down, and I haven't looked at it even in a week. So I can't answer you. Where is it at right now? Yeah, I was interested in it on this little spike right here, but then I saw it start coming back down, and I stopped paying attention. If we would have had multi-day leg up in green, I would have probably tried to play it. Great run for people that were holding it down here at $12.84, $12. K-Rock's Media Channel. I'm doing swell. Powerhouse says GNS looks interesting. Tell us, what is the big catalyst, Powerhouse, on Genius? I'll pull it up while I wait for you to type. See what news we got. Spin-off approval. Oh boy, we were just talking about this on a Discord call the other day. We're creating a new set of rules for retail. And one of those rules was when you get a spin-off, sell. The day before the spin-off, you want to be out of that play. How do I know? Because I've watched a bunch of these. Will I be right on this one? I don't know. I need to go read the details on the spin-off, but I can tell you that our general rule is you want to be out before the spin-off. The last one that I got out of, I had stock in it, was Cryptide. And what were the two companies in that? Anyways, I predicted a big drop on those once the spinoff happened, and I got out of it the day before. And yeah, then they both tanked. Remember when, again, forgive me, I need to go read the details. I'm just speaking out of my ass right now because I haven't read about Genius, but usually when you're spinning off, you're taking assets, IP, valuable, or sometimes unvaluable. It depends on what the spin-off. Are they spinning off something valuable, or are they dumping something? Is this the spin-off of getting rid of that resort? If I remember correctly, he had some property then he wanted to dump. That might actually be good. If that was costing him money and dragging down their financial statements, that might be a good spinoff. But you will probably see the stock drop on a spinoff because they're taking assets out of the company. I'll go look at it tonight and give y'all some thoughts. Tonight, I mean after the market closes. I need to get back up to speed on GNS. And despite what I think, right, sometimes people get excited by misinterpreting things like spinoffs, and you can still get the price driven up. And then when the price plummets the day after the spinoff, they're like, what the fuck just happened? So that is why it is very important to understand what is this spinoff, why are they spinning it off, what's coming out of the parent company, and then you can kind of predict what's going to happen to the parent company's stock price. So I got homework to do. I will try and do that, catch up on my reading this afternoon before we go on live tonight. All right, as far as other stocks, we got AMC at 495. Sorry, 490. Ape at 179. GameStop at 2098. The SPY is slightly in the red. MSGM was the big one that everyone was following today. I know people in the Discord are playing this. MSGM up 41% on the day. Not a bad day at all for MSGM following this huge run up that everyone was playing 2 days ago. They had a day of consolidation yesterday and then a nice run up today. Call or puts on Apple stock? So you're saying you're a gambler. Well, I can't give you specific trading advice. Why don't you let us know what you think? But I will take a look at the chart and tell you where I'm planning on buying some more Apple. This is my buy line for Apple. We're way above where I'd like to pay for Apple. We had two touches, 2018, 2020. I'm not trying to chase Apple at this point. The only way I'm going to get in Apple is if I get really lucky and they have a huge miss or we have a huge market correction. It's on my watch list. I've got my buy-in point drawn here. When they come back down, what's the PE ratio? 3250. That's actually pretty reasonable, but I would prefer to buy them on a major bad news. And I have nothing against Apple. It's a great company. I own all their products. It's probably one that I should do a detailed video on after their earnings and see if I need to recalibrate my target. This is my load the boat line. There might be some trading opportunities. I ain't trying to buy on the absolute top high of Apple. Tamir, how you doing? Pat says you must have lost money on the Helen of Troy puts. Yeah, I did have $100 or so on Helen of Troy, and it crushed anybody that was betting against it. Good thing I didn't short it. I bought those somewhere in here. I forget what month I bought them in, and they surprised on earnings. And yes, those expired. I also lost a little bit of money on my GameStop puts. I had $20 GameStop puts that expired last Friday, just 4 days ago. Don't you hate it when you get the direction right, but you're off by a week or two? Now, I knew that I was being a little bit risky buying short-term puts on GameStop. I bought them right here on this high, if I recall correctly. And I thought it would dip below 20 faster, but I think it's going to take another week. I'm not buying any more at this point, but when it goes below 1938, I'll reload long on my position. The puts was just, again, I don't short, so I figured it was going to come down, and I wanted to hopefully capture a little bit of profit on the way down. My timing was off. It didn't happen as fast as I wanted. That is the risk you take with options. You got to be right, not only on direction, but on time. I'm not bearish on GameStop. I just saw that it was gonna probably retest this $15 to $19 range. And when it does, I'll rebuy and go long again. Tamir says, look like the heat is turned up. I've been swimming outside. That's beginning of August. I started doing my cardio in addition to the gym. So I've got 2 days in now swimming. And I have a pool in my gym, but it's an indoor pool. So I go up the road to a lap pool where we don't have to worry about kids. It's a city pool, really nice one with 4 or 5 lanes. In the middle of the day, there's nobody there. It's the great thing about working for yourself, is being able to do things when nobody else is there. And I enjoy getting a suntan, so that's a side benefit. Yes, I gotta pay. When it gets cold, I'll use the indoor pool at my gym. Pat says, I lost on Wayfair, thought it was going bankrupt. I don't know if I've ever traded Wayfair. Holy smokes, $30 to $90. What a run. Let's look at their balance sheet real quick. 3.2 bill on total assets, cash $1 billion. Current liabilities $1.9 billion. Well, it is, let's see. It is a little upside down on the balance sheet. But not bad. I mean, it's not like, it doesn't look like they're in immediate risk of needing to raise money or anything. Income statement. Still losing money. Well, that's a pretty healthy run up for those financials. I haven't looked into Wayfair probably since 2021. Ronald says, I always got 2 weeks longer than I expect just because of manipulation. Yeah, I generally recommend to you guys when I'm talking on camera, get your options 2 to 3 months out. Every now and then I break that rule, and I did on my GameStop puts, and that's why I have the rules. Every time I think I'm going to cheat the system and buy an option that's only 30 days out is a harsh reminder why it's smarter to buy them further out. Oh well. I never spend more on options than I'm willing to see to go to zero. What do I think of CNXA? Oof. Well, I mean, that's not the type of chart we like to see on this channel. Let's see what they got. 4 million in total revenue. Operating income negative 5 million. Last quarter negative 40 million. Net income negative 2 million. Last quarter it was negative 38 million. This is not looking too hot. Let's look at the balance sheet. Total assets 18 million. Current assets 15 million. Current liabilities 28 million. So they have twice the amount of bills coming up than they do total assets. And of their total assets, only 1 million of that is cash. Yeah, this is not a good situation. I'd say stay away from that one. Let me pull up the dilution tracker and see if they have any info on CNXA. Just, I mean, on a fundamentals, this is, you know, guys, when retail's involved, sometimes for a few days, fundamentals doesn't matter. But says offering ability is low, dilution risk is low. So you don't have to worry. At this moment, they don't have any dilution filed. But it looks like they have a cash problem. Jim says it looks like the AMC chart. Cujo Sandlot says, was the Mullen call bullish or bearish? I don't make bullish or bearish calls on a proxy vote. It just is what it is. All the proposals passed, including the reverse split, except proposal 4, because they did not have a quorum present for that vote. Proposal 4 was the vote to move them to Maryland. So proposal 4 got tabled, everything else passed. So there will be an upcoming reverse split. We don't know how much. David Mishery got all his bonus shares, and the approvals that were needed to issue more shares and warrants. Everything passed. So yeah, that happened. Now, again, there was some misinformation put out on other channels that the reverse split did not pass. I've seen them while I was off for my swim in the last 2 hours. I've seen them correct it. But it is important to listen and pay attention. I mean, they very clearly said in that call, the votes for exceeded the votes against. Therefore, the proposal is, and then it got kind of garbled. He said approved. I heard that. But more importantly, they said the votes for exceed the votes against. That's all you need to hear. It passed. What about AMC negative beta VO Warrior with the laughs? Where's my laughs? Oh, that's loud. Oh, Lord. Darren, what's up? He said he bought more Riot today trying to play the Bitcoin cycle. Let's, I've never played, I'll be honest. I've never played Mara or Riot or any of the Bitcoin farmers because I would rather just play the pure crypto and not have to worry if there's a down cycle about getting hit hard because of all of the built-in costs that they have. But the downside to my strategy is you see companies like Riot and Mara, when they're beaten down and Bitcoin goes back up, they go up in terms of percentage far more than Bitcoin, right? So that's your gamble. If it goes negative, if crypto enters another bearish cycle, those companies are going to get hit much harder in terms of percentage downside. And I don't want that risk. But if you are right, and if Bitcoin and crypto has an upcycle, those companies will do better in terms of percentage gain than Bitcoin itself. So that's a decision for you. I don't have much other thoughts about those companies. Let's see how Apple and Amazon are shaking up here. Let's go to our blue chip watch list. Amazon's up 0.5%. How come I don't have Apple on here? Apple is down 0.74%. Tomorrow morning, don't forget, if you're into theater stocks at all, earlier this week we had Marcus Corporation report positive earnings after 2 quarters of negative earnings. Tomorrow morning we have Cinemark reporting, and so that'll be more of a bellwether for AMC, which will be next Tuesday. And I probably will be live streaming their call, Cinemark's call in the morning, just to hear what their thoughts are. I don't own any Cinemark, but you know, since they're more comparable in size to AMC, it's a good bellwether of what AMC can expect next week. Let's look and see how Cinemark is doing today ahead of their earnings tomorrow. They are flat, but they had a decent 2.5-day run up into pre-earnings. Jim says McCormick issued 2 rulings on 7/13, so it's possible to do 2 in a day. Yeah, in my dreams, I'm thinking Zern was off today, so she's going to finish up her opinion today. This is just speculation. And she won't drop it today. She'll wait till Friday after market close so that everybody has the weekend to digest the news. Let me pull up the Chancery Court opinion page just so I can have that ready. I'll drop a link if you want to check that, although I can probably assure you, I'm going to put a link in the chat in case you don't have this. This is where her opinion is going to drop. And starting at about market close, I would say, you know, hit refresh on that thing every 5 or 10 seconds for 20 minutes. Or just wait and watch the price action. The price will start moving from the algos, from the AI machine trades, as soon as that decision drops. Before you can even blink your eyes and open up the file and scroll to the last page, the price is already going to move. So make sure you have your plan in place right now, whatever you're planning on doing. Make sure you have extended trading enabled on your account. Make sure you're watching every day until we have a decision in after hours, and make sure you have alerts set for a 5% price move up or down, because you don't want to miss this. Whatever it is, whatever your plan is, you don't want to be caught unaware in case it happens quick, like what happened Friday. 8 dropped down. I had people in my Discord that were buying it at below 70 cents that Friday. And then it popped right back up to $1.80. Easy, double your money. And then people that were holding AMC, obviously, you had a chance for a run from the $4 range up to almost $9. Now, if you were buying recently at $4 and had a bucket, some of you have buckets that you're buying and holding forever. Some of you have buckets, a second bucket that you're trading. That was a fantastic opportunity to lock in 100% gain. So have your alert set, have your trading plan in your mind of what you're going to do, if this, then that, and don't be caught flat-footed. Buenas tardes, David. ¿Cómo estás? Massalorian, what's up, amigo? Yeah, this is the 3rd live of the day, Mass. And I got your message last night. If you want to do one tonight, call me when I'm done here in about an hour. I'll be done around 3:30 my time, so 1 hour from now. I'm going to fix some dinner, an early dinner. I got to pick up Scarlett from work because her car is in the shop and we need to get some groceries. So that's my afternoon. Grocery store, pick up the wife, fix dinner. Doug says, what link do you use for the fastest court release? Right here. I'll drop it in the chat one more time. That is the court opinion page. If there is a updated opinion from the judge, any judge, it will be at that page. So save that, bookmark it. Mangaku says, I don't think she'll announce anything today or tomorrow. She'll announce it after AMC earnings. We've had a long-running debate which would be better for AMC or investors. I think for investors, it would be better to have the judge's decision after earnings. Because if we don't got to worry about reverse split and conversion, if we can just push that aside for a week, and then if, second if, nested if, then loops. If we have a positive upside surprise on earnings next week, maybe, just maybe we can get a little pop and get some of these recent fucking shorts out of this play. Even if it's a pop to $6 or $8 for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a day. I would love to see that. I would love to see earnings with the upside surprise before Zern's decision. I think the company would prefer, the company AMC would prefer to have the judge's decision and the conversion all done before Tuesday. And AMC's in the morning Tuesday, right? Am I recalling that correctly? The AMC call is in the morning. I don't know, even if she gets her decision out today or tomorrow, if they could pull off reverse split and conversion before Tuesday morning. Anyways, I'm excited to see what Cinemark posts in the morning and what AMC posts on Tuesday. And I pray that I'm right. All the analysts are betting against me. I'm like one of the, I know there's a couple of other YouTubers. Stock Retail is, I think he's hopeful for positive earnings. I'm hopeful based on my model that we'll have upside surprise. And if I'm wrong, this will be the first time that I was way off. So hoping and praying for all of us. Mediocre trader in the house. What is up, mediocre? Prometheus says, if Zern drops a decision, Tony will go live faster than a cat. I don't know, I don't know that I'll rush to go live. I didn't on Friday when I'm sitting there trying to read a 40-page document and talk to people on Discord. If I'm live, if I'm trying to trade, if I'm trying to read a document, it's just too much. I might go live after and discuss what the hell just happened. Because whatever happens, there's going to be people that get it wrong. There's going to be people celebrating the wrong thing. Shad says, do I think popcorn will make a difference on this earnings? I don't think it'll make a meaningful difference yet. I think it'll be, I'm hopeful that Adam or Sean, somebody talks about the contribution of popcorn, but I don't think that 5,000 Walmart stores is enough to have a meaningful impact on earnings. I wish I was wrong. I hope I'm wrong. We're just all guessing, right? Every single one of us has no idea because they haven't given us any hint about unit sales. And we're estimating a 25% profit margin, so $1 per bag profit margin, maybe a little bit less. You just have to guess how many bags did they sell? 1 million, 10 million, 100 million? I'm going to be conservative. You guys know me. You know me by now. So I'm going to say don't count on anything meaningful this quarter. Obviously, any profit is helpful. And for that, I'm thankful. And I hope that they far exceed my conservative viewpoint. Where I get really excited with the popcorn is a year from now when we're in every major grocery store. Albertsons, Kroger, Randall's, H-E-B, Walmart, Target, your neighborhood convenience store. If we can 100x the distribution and keep it on the shelves, then it starts becoming a meaningful contribution. Mediocre and I have a bet about when Zern is going to drop her decision. So far, he's been wrong 3 days. I said Friday. Mediocre said Monday. No, Tuesday. No, Wednesday. Are you betting on Thursday now, Mediocre? You're going to owe me a case of beer by the time this is over. Blazin', what's up? He says, I heard the reverse split and conversion already happened in the dark pool. Doug says, what do you think happens to AMC if she doesn't approve? The only way the settlement's not going to be approved ultimately is if she says something was illegal, and I don't see anything illegal in it. So the next opinion is going to be, here's some more problem areas I found. There's a 1% chance, right, that she'll say, no, this was illegal, but why didn't she just say that in the beginning? She's going to get them, she's going to deny the settlement and tell them why, and then they'll need to amend it again, or she's going to approve the settlement. That is what I think the outcomes will be. I got more problems, go fix these problems, or you'll just get an approval. That's what I think. That's never changed from day one, that this will all be approved, the vote that we had in March. If the 1% happens and she says the settlement, the whole ape thing was illegal, I can't let you go through with this vote, period, hard stop, then ape will plummet, AMC will go up because ape will be deemed worthless, and you will see people rotate out of ape into AMC. It's not because the shorts are scared. It's because of rotation of money. People will flee ape and move into AMC, and that will drive the price up. And then that will cause recent shorts to have to cover. So you'll get a nice little pop on AMC. But for the company, after that little pop is digested by the market for a day or two, you're going to see the shorts come in and hammer the fuck out of it because the company has no ability to raise cash. So it'll be short-term rejoicing, and shortly after that, you're going to get hammered. Just my opinion. So if you're in a position to take a profit on any short-term run-ups, if the judge says ape was illegal, I want you to remember this conversation. It's just my guess. It's not trading advice. Do your own DD. You asked my opinion. That is my opinion of what's going to happen. Steven says, Tony, can you keep us up to date on Cinemark earnings? Because if they turn a profit, so can AMC. Yes, I will be live streaming Cinemark call in the morning, Steven. Sufyan, CPA in the house. What's up? Gus says the fact that we're able to drop ape down to 67 and back up to 150 in under 10 minutes tells me this play is completely controlled by a few big entities. Yeah, that was all machine trading, right? The machines went to the end of the document. They saw that the settlement was not approved. They made an instantaneous decision. Then they fully digested the document and they're like, oops, buy it back. We were wrong. About the time that I got the word to my folks in the Discord, there were dozens of us on the call. About I quickly told them the settlement was not approved, but it's not over. That's when people jumped in our Discord and bought below 70 cents. And then immediately, I mean, if you weren't doing it that split second, it was already running back up as people realized, as I did, that this was not over. This was just a speed bump in the settlement process. Evan says what Adam Aaron did was not illegal, but it could be considered a scam. Even Vera, I think what the judge will say is that, to your point, I think what the judge will say, we already saw hints of it in her previous opinion, is that the company steamrolled over retail traders, retail investors in an attempt to secure access to capital because they're worried about the financial health of the company. And she will say, although this is a little bit scummy, the company did what it thought was best as a business decision, a fiduciary decision for the benefit of the corporation. So I will partially agree with you, even Vera. I wouldn't use the word scam. I'll say the word scummy, maybe. It's not, you know, they steamrolled, but we see corporations do this all the time. And generally the courts will say, hey, if they had a legitimate business concern and they can back that up with board meeting notes, outside analysis, financial statements filed with the SEC, the court is, unless they broke the letter of the law, and guys, there were teams of lawyers involved all the way along in the development and the rollout of APE. I don't think it was illegal. The judge is going to say, if they made a legitimate business decision, even if it was scummy, it was not illegal, and we can't override that. I could be wrong. That's just my opinion. Don't hate. Don't hate. The one says, how is APE worthless? I think, you know, that's going to be the market. If the judge says it was illegal, right, on that 1% chance where the judge said what AMC did was illegal and you can never convert it. Let's just go with that, right? This is a very corner case. I do not think this is the case. Then I think the market would say, in that case, if you can never convert it, if it was illegal from day one, it is essentially worthless. So just work with me. I'm not saying that I think that is the case. I don't think it was illegal. But were the judge to say it was, I think the market would overreact negatively to APE. Raul says, ready to take shots on all you guys kicking out. Just join. I'm not sure I understand the sentiment there, Raul. Just join Tony. I'm ready to take shots on all the guys you kicking out. Oh, you just joined the the live stream. Okay. Yeah, we haven't had to kick anybody today. I've been doing a yeoman's job of kicking all the trolls and the haters. Again, I have no problem with any of you guys that disagree with anything I say or disagree with anybody in the anyone in the audience. That's perfectly cool on this channel. Just don't spam and be respectful. Everyone has different opinions in every play. That is the stock market, right? For every buyer, there's a seller. For every seller, there's a buyer. Everybody has different ideas. I think we can all be grown-ups and talk about our ideas. That's what you're here to listen to. And just be grown-up about it, and you're always welcome on this channel. If you're into name calling, acting like a teenager, doxing, harassing, all that bullshit, see ya. Not the future of this channel. Ketogenesis says, has anyone done DD on who sold and bought? We stopped getting Ketogenesis. We stopped getting data from Antara at the end of June when they dropped below 10%. There was no longer a regulatory requirement for them to file once you drop below 10%. So we don't know. And then what was it? About 2 weeks later, there were those 250 million trades. So our heads are spinning with theories. Was that Antara getting out? What the heck's going on? We don't really know. That big dip down last Friday when Ape plummeted, that was a very small amount of shares. The volume on that was minute. So it wasn't a huge move. It was just in that 5 minutes, there were only sellers. So the price dropped fast. It wasn't that there was a mass exodus. It just, there was no buying. And someone sold a bunch. Someone panicked. And so the price dropped. That's what, when there's no buyers, you get a bottomless pit. And then people were like, hey, easy money. Mediocre bought that dip. Yes, sir. He was one of the ones on our call. He bought that 70-cent dip on Ape. Javi the Great in the house. What is up? Massalorian says it might be unethical behavior, but legal. I don't even know if I'd use scam or unethical. The most I think you'll get me to say, and I know all of your sentiment, I'm going to say scummy. Unethical, I don't know if I agree with that, because ethically they have a right, they have an obligation, a fiduciary obligation to not let the corporation go bankrupt. It'd be more unethical for them to do nothing and just piss our money away into bankruptcy. That's where I'm kind of at on this. That doesn't mean I don't agree with all of you that are mad at what happened. I'm just trying to be unbiased and explain how a corporation's looking at it. I can sit over here and argue with all the no voters. I get every single one of their arguments. I agree with all their arguments. The yes voters, I get and agree with that. I'm trying to be as middle of the road as I can and tell you why the company is doing this. I don't think it was unethical if, in their belief, it was necessary to have access to capital. The ethical thing is to create access to capital. And like someone said on our call last night, guys, and I should have been saying this. I don't know who I was talking to. Maybe it was Johnny. The company has been trying to raise money since 2021, when 1 or 2 votes were pulled because they weren't going to have enough shareholder participation. It's not like they just decided at the end of 2022, let's raise money. They have known since 2021 that they needed to raise money. They let us know that, and we told them no. So I don't know. I mean, you should have known, if you were paying attention, that they asked you and made it clear to you, we need to raise more money. And we told them no, and they figured out a way around it, as corporations often do. Kind of like that time David Mishery sold himself one preferred share that had like 2 billion votes so he could swing a vote. Remember that 12 months ago? These fuckers will do whatever they need to do to not go bankrupt. And I think they are doing their damnedest not to go bankrupt, even if it pisses us off. Inconsiderate, Anya. Yeah, it was inconsiderate. It was inconsiderate to retail. But I think they're doing their damnedest to not bankrupt the corporation. Dan says, if there's no buyers, how can they sell? I mean, if there's no buyers, Dan, the market maker will buy. That's the market maker's job. Not Money Advice says, you do know a corporation is fictitious. Well, I mean, I would disagree. A corporation has legal standing. It's an entity. I would not call it fictitious. Edward with the question of the day. Where's my Edward? Excellent question. How are we pinned at $1.80? That is a question we keep asking ourselves on Ape. If Antara is out, which by every calculation I could have done at the beginning of July, they should be out by now. How are we pinned at $1.80? I don't know. The only answer that I can come up with that logically fits is institutions are scared to buy because of the legal uncertainty, the uncertainty about what Zern is going to say. Either that or we're all just fucked. And they're not going to let Ape run. So we'll find out. We'll find out soon. Are market makers regulated? To my knowledge, yep. Gus says anyone who was able to buy Ape during that dip had pure luck, and not just when it happened, but be able to get your buy orders filled. Steven says Adam Aaron is going to get his money. That is a certainty. Yeah, you know, a lot of people hate me for telling you what I think is going to happen, but I tell you what I think is going to happen because I honestly believe that that is what is going to happen, and I want you to be thinking about that. Instead of trying to fight the system, play the fucking system. If you have a good idea about what is going to happen, which side of the trade would you prefer to be on? That's how I make my decisions. Not Money Advice. Adam Aaron did take the dilution vote off the table. That is correct. But keep in mind, these corporations can see the votes as they're coming in. And at that time, up until 3 days ago, if you're a Delaware incorporated company, to get a share increase passed like that, to amend the articles of incorporation, you need 50% of the shareholders to show up. And he wasn't going to get anywhere near that. Even if the vote was in favor, if he only had 100 million show up and 70 million were for, it was not going to pass because he needed 258 million votes to show up. And if he can't get that, he's going to pull the vote to avoid being embarrassed. So I think both things were true. I think the vote was in favor, but they didn't have enough votes, and they knew they weren't going to get enough by the time of the proxy vote, so they just yanked it. That is the explanation that I'm going to give you based on my understanding. People say, well, why does he say that it was in favor, and then why did he pull it? For exactly that thing I just told you. It was weighted towards a pass, but they didn't have enough shareholders showing up. And they can see that. They can see the numbers coming in. Jim says, didn't they borrow 80 million shares and short interest went up? Who is they, Jim? May Dean, what's up? I promise I'm not slacked at work. Big Ads, what's up, amigo? Cheers to you in the UK. We got an Ortex update for those of you following Ape. Where is my Ortex screen? The Ortex number is updated. For Ape, there was either a correction or someone closed out some shorts. I'm not sure which. You can see over here it says 18.4, 18.54, right? But if I go to the live short interest tab here, it says 10.6. which one is it? I prefer to go by this screen. So I prefer that the short interest not be 18% on APE. So I'm going to go with the current short interest is 10%. This says 95 million short. Over here, same ticker. It says doesn't say the shares shorted. So I'm going with 10% is the current number on APE. And AMC was pushing 29%. Let's see where it's at. It's now over 30% short on AMC. AMC is on the threshold list. I saw a tweet from Adam Aaron saying that he contacted FINRA and NYSE again. Then I see people making videos calling him a liar. Like, yo, why? Why are you asking him to do something? And then as soon as he does something, you bitch that he's lying. Like, I literally would not want to work for you. If you ask me to do something, I tell you I'd do it, and then you call me a liar, I'd say, fuck the hell right off. Don't ask me shit then. But that's how YouTube is, right? People do what they got to do for clicks. Adam Aaron, do something about FTDs, do something about threshold list. I want to let you know that we contacted FINRA and NYC. Liar! You lie! I don't believe you! Why? Why are people like that? Everything is a fucking conspiracy with these yahoos. But please go find my tweet to Gary Gensler and Hester Pierce, where I am asking them, what we need to do is be hammering these nimwits in our federal government for transparency on the threshold list. It is unconscionable that they have such a thing as a threshold list where tickers can live on it for months, and we have no idea who is responsible, to what degree they're responsible, to what degree they're having fails, how many times they're rebooting it, resetting it. I can create in my mind and explain to you legal ways a ticker can stay on the threshold list for months, and I can rationalize it and understand it, but I don't know that they're doing it legally. And of course I suspect that they're doing it illegally, but we shouldn't have that. We should not be dealing with this uncertainty with this threshold list. We should be able to see every party that is failing, the quantity that they're failing, when they close. If a second party comes in and keeps us on the list longer than a third party, than a fourth party, okay, then it starts making a little more sense. But it is intolerable that we have no access to this data. And I know the data's there. So please help me start bugging Gary Gensler, Hester Pierce, FINRA. We retweeted the head of the NYSE. You've got her Twitter handle now. If you go find me on Twitter, bug her, bug all of these fucks, and ask for, demand transparency changes on the threshold list. And this affects hundreds of tickers every year. There is no reason that we should not have access to that data. There's only so much that CEOs can do. Let's get the government agencies that are responsible for accumulating this data and tell them we want transparency. All right, that is the bell. How come I can't hear the bell? I came unplugged. Paolo says, how would you explain a CEO spreading bad information as soon as the share price starts running? Well, Paolo, I got a couple thoughts on that, and I know where you're coming from, and I agree with you 50%. Let's walk through a couple scenarios. One scenario, those of you that say every time there's good news, Adam Aaron rug pulls you, I totally get it. Like, right, the optics and the timing is very suspect. Not going to disagree with you. I can totally empathize with where you're coming from on that. Then on the other side, if I play the other side of the aisle, I say to all the people that have been complaining, Adam Aaron lied to us. He never told us the company had problems. He's only fluffed us. He's only told us good things. He lied to us and told us the company's great and he's on our side for the last 2 years. Well, when he finally starts being honest with you, like I have been telling you about the financials and the fundamentals being a problem, when he finally tells you that, now you're going to throw him under the bus for being transparent and finally telling you there's a light up ahead in the tunnel and it is a train coming at you. He's finally telling you that there's a problem and now you're angry at him for that. Like we can't have it both ways. You don't want to be lied to. You don't want him to fluff you. Okay, he's being transparent. He's admitting that there is a problem despite some good weekends and some record-breaking weekends. A weekend or a week does not make a year, and this company will lose a lot of money this year. And I think he's trying to set your expectations for what is about to come with the upcoming dilution announcement. And I also think you ought to, listen up, you ought to be paying attention to what is about to come, because I think it is about to come. Dilution. I'm not worried about the reverse split. I've said many, many, many times on this channel, you need to have a plan for what is coming, which is dilution. And that's all I'm going to say. I can't give you any trading advice, but let it not be said that Tony Denaro did not advise you to be aware that dilution is coming and that you ought to have a plan for that. I've spoken about it for months now. GG, what's up? She says, if you drew up a letter like that for Gensler and Hester, I would bet you'd get thousands and thousands of signatures. It's a good idea. It's a multi-ticker letter, right, GG? All of retail needs to be screaming for this. I mean, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it is something I could do. Let's start a petition. No, but seriously, that would be a petition to get going and to get in front of some congressmen and try and get some change. All right, 15 minutes. Get your trading windows open. Let me get mine open up here. Just in case we get a Zern decision. Thank you for the reminder. I was on my soapbox there. Almost forgot. I always have my trading window open for about 20 minutes, pending a judge's decision here. All right, and I want to have my window open. Where did it go? Oh, the judge's opinion page. Y'all, I'm going to drop this in the chat one more time. Y'all help me with this too. Keep an eye on this page. Looks like Anya says Amazon had a beat, and I do hold Amazon. And based on the price action, I would guess that Anya is correct. Amazon forecasts third quarter revenue above estimates. Beautiful. Booyah. Let's hope that that holds. Roseanne says, come on, Ms. Zern, Chancellor Zern. Please let us know your ruling. We're all with you, Roseanne. Everybody wants to put this behind us, for better or worse. However it ends up, I want to be done with this crap. I do see that today Zern dropped a decision on Rhines, Wisconsin gasket. So she did let her decision regarding LLC's motion to intervene. There is a Zern decision out, but not on the case that we want. That just dropped. Let's see what Amazon says here. Net sales increased 11% to 134 billion. Operating income increased 7 billion. Holy fuck. Compared to 3.3 billion a year ago. That is huge. Net income was 6.7 billion in the second quarter, or 65 cents per diluted share, compared to a net loss of 2 billion a year ago. Huge. Operating cash flow increased 74%. Oh my gosh, this is delicious. Beautiful. Gigi says there's a YouTuber out there that is predicting bye week on this play, and he said the big squeeze is going to happen next summer. If you could wait that long. But they always want to string you along, Gigi. Go ahead and drop a name for us, Gigi. Blue Sky, what's up? Blue Sky Landscape says, how long can Zern take? They have up to 90 days typically. So we would expect something no later than end of September. I know that's a long way to wait. Long time to wait. Jim, who's your three corporations? Gigi says Nick Pantano is forecasting next summer. Gigi, I don't know Nick, but I was bullish about 2024 for AMC, considering where we're at in domestic box office in 2023. We're not going to be profitable this year when we look at the entire year, but we had or have a shot, a small one in 2024, if Hollywood gets their damn act together and this actors and writers strike is increasing for me, my risk concerns for the movie industry for 2024. So I'm not waving the red flag yet, but I'm waving a caution flag. You guys know that if you've been tuning in here. I'm not going to ignore risk. I'm not going to just spoon feed you nothing but good news. For me, that is a long-term risk in case we're stuck in this play until 2024. And please, God, let the actors and writers strike be resolved sooner rather than later. Apple, Amazon, and X. Yeah, those are three good ones to own for the long term, Jim. Nancy says, any idea after the decision is made, how long before we see dilution? Another great question of the day. We have a lot of debate on that in the Discord voice chats as well, Nancy. We've speculated that he could drop news of some deal as soon as the day that the reverse split and the conversion is announced. I think that they probably are already working a deal with somebody. Others, we know from the attorneys. We know from the attorney's letters that they're saying it's got to be 10 days before they can effect a reverse split and conversion. I don't know. I don't know if that's truthful or not. But I would lean towards the dilution announcement will come rather quickly. Before the market gets too bearish on the writers and actors strike, while the Barbenheimer glow is still strong, you would want to sell shares into that news, I would think. What do y'all think? I don't think you want to wait till this quarter starts slowing down and the analysts and the bears start putting out a bunch of writers and actors strike bad news trying to fucking push the prices down and then be trying to sell into that. I think you'd want to strike rapidly while the price is still relatively high. Adlamo says, Zern keeps asking for a consolidated complaint and they seem to never provide that. I would need to go back in. Let's talk about that tonight. If you're able to tune in tonight, I need to go reread what she said about that. My very quick read of all the motions they filed, it looked like they answered everything that she asked for. But I'll double check. Not money advice says the only deal I see Adam Aaron doing is a plea deal with the DOJ. Let's look at, do we have news on Apple yet? No. Someone wanted to look at Dish real quick. I have not looked at their financials, so we're going blind here. They've been getting beat down, hadn't they? $80 down to $7. Not usually the type of stock that I like to buy into unless we go down here to the $5 to $7 range and then we go into all of their executive communications and see what are they doing to turn this boat around. I see income. Oh, wait, that's assets. Let's go to income. Total revenue is just flat to down. Net income. They have positive net income, but it's falling. So they need a turnaround here. But yeah, I mean, it's not a non-profitable company, so you would need to go in and do some research and see if you think they can regrow. That might be another good one to add to the list to dig into, because I mean, clearly they've fallen well off their all-time highs. So is there a turnaround story? Good one to check into. I'm going to add it into my stop. Cancel. Quit. All right. Anything here yet? Nothing. Anything on the judge? Nothing. All right. Kyle, Blue Sky says, so many are bullish on Q3, but they don't look at the release calendar for August and September. We've been talking about that a lot. I got people messaging me because I'm a little bit negative on the remaining 2 months of this quarter. We're in Q3, July, August, September. Barbenheimer's been on fire. And we have other movies coming out. Let's say July, we had about $1 billion in domestic box office, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm thinking about $1.4 billion for the remainder. Let me pull up my spreadsheet, see where that gets us. Google Sheets. I had okay. Well, I had 3, 4, or 5 months ago, I had predicted only 1.9 billion for Q3. So now I'm upping that because of Barbenheimer just blowing the doors out. I'm going to up that to 2.4 billion. I know you can't see this, but 2.4 billion. And that gets us estimated. Yeah, I mean, there's a chance. We'll know more on Tuesday if my model is accurate at these levels. But if the model is accurate, that gets us somewhere near break even. So that would not be too shabby. Mediocre is saying, yeah, now that you see it's 3:15, now you're changing your bet to Friday. Now you're on the Denaro train. Send me a case since you've lost 4 days in a row, Mediocre. Go online and order me that new Freedom beer, and I'll send you my address. You can send me a case since you lost 4 times. Looks like DraftKings and Coin might have beat as well. DKNG. Oh, nice. Yeah, there's no news on the earnings, but it did get a little pop there. And what else we have? Coinbase. The last IPO of a oversold company I'll ever buy, up 6% also. Coinbase releases shareholder letter. Their earnings per share was negative 42 cents, beating an estimate of negative 78. So they lost money, but not as bad as analysts expected. Slot Massacre says, "Why was taking Zern so long?" Again, I think it has something to do with the fact that she knows it's going to be appealed. She probably wants her opinion to be as Loctite as possible. And also the fact that this will be a precedent-setting decision. Blazin and Steven, was Floor and Decor reporting today? They sure were. This is another stock we like on this channel, FND. I am not in it at the moment because when some of the folks brought it up, I was ignoring it. And they got in damn near the bottom of this bitch. And it's been on an absolute tear. So some of us are waiting for a second chance. $61 back in July of 2022, $64 in October of 2022. I think this is the price that we were talking about it, and I neglected to buy, and now it's at 111. Another easy double your money on a profitable company, bringing in $70 million a quarter in profits. These are what you want to have your bench of your portfolio stacked with. But now I'm like, now I need to wait for a good entry again. Buy him Bud Light. If you buy me Bud Light, I'm going to take that AR-15 out to the farm, mediocre, and shoot it up. Don't buy me that shit. Freedom Beer. freedombeer.com. Hazel says, I heard a bank in Canada bought millions of AMC on the dip today. Yeah, Hazel, I saw a clickbaiter with glasses. Hello, friends. Did you know that the Bank of Canada just bought shares of AMC today? $31 million, friends. What do they know? Well, what he doesn't know is that report that he's reading that dropped was for last quarter. One day I'll teach these damn clickbaiters how to read filings. Bank of Canada did increase their position, guys, from the previous quarter to the most current one, but that was a filing for holdings at the end of June. So, friends, you're listening to a clickbaiter who don't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's lying on you. He's lying on you like all these kids do on YouTube, just cranking out videos for the clicks and the views. Nothing but misinformation. He was correct. Canada, Bank of Canada did increase their position from the beginning of the year to the end of June. We have no idea what they've done in the last 60 days. So, yes, it was bullish. No, it was not accurate current information. And that is just an unfortunate fact about 13F filings. You're always getting them 6 to 12 weeks late, 6 to 8 weeks late. Mediocre, we'll catch you on tonight's live stream, I hope. Blue Sky says, what about Bud Light? You can get it cheap now. I've told y'all many times, my uncle, back in the day when I was a high school kid and younger, was a state distributor for Miller Lite. And that's just, if I was going to drink a light beer, it's always been Miller Lite, support the family business. And never have been a Bud or Bud Light drinker. I had a Michelob phase. I had a Miller Lite phase. I still like Miller Lite. And of course, my wife likes hoppy beers. I like a lot of craft beers. I prefer, something with taste. I'd prefer not to drink a light beer. Any of them. But if I do, it will always be Miller Lite. Anya says, Tony, you sounded like a TikTok. We've been cracking ourselves up. I've been driving these fools crazy with Pinky Doll on TikTok. You guys seen her? The NPC character. Woo, thank you for the rose. Smells so good. Game. That girl just cracks me up for some reason, but what's funny is not her, but all these fools that started copying her, and they're not near as good. So you go to TikTok and you just click the live button and you scroll through and you can see like 10 people copying her, and they are all just abject failures. I'm like, what the hell is America coming to today? But hat tip to Pinky Doll, bringing in those big bucks. She's making like, I think in the beginning she was making $1,000 to $2,000 a day. Now she's making like $4,000 to $6,000 a day. No wonder people are copying her. Anya, thank you for the rose. Ernesto says, have you spoke on Chancery Daily calling you out? Yeah, I saw her post the next day on her thing. Said she was not happy at YouTubers reading her behind the paywall material. I immediately sent her an apology, said that will never happen again. I mistakenly assumed, since I put links in my video to her channel and encouraged y'all to go subscribe, that she would appreciate the extra advertisement, but she didn't, obviously, and I apologize. I said it would never happen again. She wrote me back, said, thanks for the apology, no hard feelings. But yeah, there won't be any more live readings of her posts because she doesn't want that, and I respect that. Joey says it's just bad beer. Yeah. I would prefer something, Joey, with taste if I'm drinking beer. Truth be told, I'd rather just have a whiskey. Yeah, my bad, Slot Massacre. I will own my mistakes. And I immediately, when I knew she was upset, sent her an apology. No, Ernesto, I mean, it's her content. If she doesn't want it shared, if she doesn't want advertisement, then I respect that. She's probably doing, just fine selling her opinions to other attorneys. That always was her business anyway. So, I mean, that's how she makes her money. She probably doesn't care about retail folks knowing about it. But I do encourage you guys, since we can't share it with you, go find her Substack and subscribe. She's a smart lady, and she's been way more right than any of us on the mindset of Judge Zern and the goings on of Delaware Supreme Court. Lord knows it's, I never thought in my decades of doing this that I'd care so much about what is going on a lawsuit of a company that I own. But here we are. When do I think conversion? I think I said that my money is on a decision Friday after the market closes, but I only give that a 50% probability. So don't make any decisions off of that. Last week, I bought a few calls on AMC in case we had another little pop-up this week on any Zern news. And those are weeklies, so those expire tomorrow. I will probably renew those tomorrow before market close and extend my my expiration date. They were very cheap last week. They're like 25 cents. Adlamo says, what was Chancery Daily's conclusion? She had a lot of questions. And she also thinks that the timeline for Zern's decision is much longer than someone like me is thinking or hoping. So if I give just an unbiased read of what Chancery Daily was saying, I'm thinking she's thinking September. I'm just in my wish for this nonsense and drama to be over so we can move on to other topics. I'm praying that it's sooner rather than later. Slot Massacre, I appreciate that. He says, Tony Denaro, Chancery Daily, Stock Retail, and Noisy Corax are the best sources for factual information. No MOAS BS or crazy conspiracies. Yeah, there's crazy conspiracies on both sides of the fence, right? We got your MOAS people predicting $1 million price targets. We got the conspiracy people that will tell you anything to get a click. No actual experience trading. No experience reading filings. They have not gotten one thing right yet on anything. And I try and stay in the middle and keep it fact-based. Of course, yes, I have some opinions. But you guys should know about me by now that I have a extreme dislike of being incorrect. So if I say something, it is not because I'm trying to clickbait you or sell you on a strategy. It's that I honestly believe that is what is going to happen. Ernesto says, why calls if conversion passes AMC tanks? Yes, so Ernesto, I believe that the settlement is going to be passed, but what if Zern has more questions for the attorneys, like what happened that Friday a week ago or whenever it was? People misread the document and you saw AMC spike, and it stayed up there for a day. If people incorrectly read the document, if she doesn't approve the settlement, but she says, I got more questions for the attorneys, then you could see a temporary spike in AMC. My secondary reason is that I was hopeful that there'd be a little run up into earnings next Tuesday, which is not happening. So the options were very cheap, and if I was wrong about the arbitrage, you know, if I lose money on APE, I make money on the calls. If the judge dropped an opinion that said, hey, we got more questions to answer, and AMC also pops on that because people misread it again, then that's just free money for me on the calls. And if I'm totally wrong, if nothing happens by Friday, well, the amount of money that I lose is inconsequential to me. I'm not betting thousands and thousands of dollars on these calls. It's just bonus money. And if I lose it, it's not a big deal. I can make that up day trading in a couple hours. Adlamo says, was she leaning towards approval or rejection of the amended settlement? I don't know. What those of y'all that saw my live stream and Chancery Daily's thoughts a couple days ago, I get the feeling that Chancery Daily doesn't like Adam Aaron. She said as much. And I get the feeling that she's not a big fan of what he did with the Antara deal. And so I have to kind of filter her thousands of words, knowing that that is her bias that she's bringing to the table. And that's not a bad thing. You know, everybody has their biases. But I get the feeling that, you know, she is hoping that Zern finds some way to torpedo this thing. So that's just the gist that I get. Obviously, I disagree with that, but I will also say Chancery Daily's been right way more than me on every aspect of this. So we shall see. As we're winding up here, AMC is down 0.31%. In after hours, it was up 2.25%. During the day, it's trading at $4.89. AMC Ape was down 1.6% for the day, $1.78. It is back up to $1.80 in after hours. Let's see if we got any Apple news. Apple reports third quarter results. Quarterly revenue of $81 billion, down 1% from the same quarter a year ago. Quarterly earnings, $1.26, up 5% year over year. All-time record revenue in services, driven by over 1 billion paid subscriptions. Apple's board of directors has declared a cash dividend of 24 cents per share of the company's common stock. Dividend is payable on August 17th for shareholders of record as of close of business August 14th. So that's a nice little bonus. And if you're interested, there is a conference call in about 30 minutes. I'm not going to be around for that. And since nothing's going on here, let's just look at Amazon one more time. Nice. It's holding on to those gains. Beautiful. As I said, I do have some Amazon in my portfolio. I don't know if I have my buy point on here, but I bought it right around this dip here. 81 bucks. So not too bad. What do I think about Disney? Benito, not a fan of the company just from they're fucking it up, man. But over my life, Disney has always been a buy and hold, buy and forget type play. So I can't ignore that. Here's Disney. You can see I have my line drawn that I drew a long time ago of where I would buy in Disney. I kind of do these on these tickers when they start running up. I'm like, okay, I don't have any Disney right now. When I go back and look at the chart, where would I like to buy in? It's almost at that point. In fact, this is the point where if you wanted to buy Disney below 80 bucks, in fact, I have my line at 85.04. I'm 40 cents away from where I would buy in Disney. This is the point where you could sell puts and collect that premium. And if the price drops, say you had an $80 strike on your put, you're willing to buy Disney at 80 bucks, 100 shares. So you got to have the cash to buy them. This is one way you could make money while still picking up Disney. You could sell puts. You immediately collect that premium. $80 strike. If it drops below 80, you're going to be assigned to buy those shares. Now, could it go, and you're going to pay $80, but remember, you were willing to pay $80 to buy Disney anyway. So you bought it at 80 and you collected income right now, today, tomorrow, by selling the puts. Or if you don't have the cash to buy 100 shares, you could just wait it out and pick up 10, 20, 50, whatever you want to buy when it gets to your buy-in point. It is at my buy-in point. So I will be picking some up, and I'll let y'all know in the Discord when I do. Just morally, fundamentally, you know, I'm not a fan of what Disney's doing. And I think they're a hot mess right now. But I think if you buy it cheap enough, I mean, it's at a price that you could have bought it at in 2014. I think that eventually economics and common sense will take hold of Disney, and that will overcome all the morality decisions, the woke agenda. Capitalism usually corrects that, and things will turn around at Disney, but you might need to be patient. Disney's a buy and hold till you retire type company, so you want to get a good entry, and we're just about there as far as I'm concerned. Slot Massacres, I said I'd love, yeah, if I bought Disney at 80 and then it dropped to 50, I'd be doubling or tripling my position at 50. Once I set my buy-in line, I will buy some here. I'm not going to load the boat. I'm not going to spend every last dollar, because you don't know where this downtrend is going to stop, right? How bad is Disney screwing it up? But if I buy at 80 and it drops 20% from there, which would be $64, then I will add more, sometimes double my previous position. Then if it drops another 20%, I'll add more. But that is a strategy you use on profitable companies that are undergoing some temporary problem, if you believe that long term they're going to correct the ship. That's what I did on SoFi. I had bought too much, or I had bought some SoFi too high. Then it dropped to $5, and I doubled my previous. And so I'm doing great on SoFi right now. This is I added more at this $4 or $5 level. All right, guys, we got to wrap it up because I got to go pick up the wife. We got to go to the grocery store. And what else did I say I need to do? Oh, fix dinner. And then hopefully I'll be on live with Massalorian later tonight. I don't know the exact time yet. Stay tuned. I'll give him a ring, or he'll give me a call. We'll set the time. If he doesn't want to go live, well, I've already done 3 today. So if he wants to do one, I'm down. If he does not want to do one, I will see y'all in the morning for the Cinemark earnings, and let's listen into their call and see what they have to say. That will be a heads up for what to expect for AMC on Tuesday. Thank you for tuning in. Love you. Be good to one another. Let's stop the drama, the name calling, and the fighting. We're all shareholders. We all want to make money. And there literally is nothing we can do at this point except wait for Judge Zern. So have your trading plan ready for whatever comes. Best of luck to everybody. I want to see all of you make a lot of money, and be looking for some other plays too. We've been killing it in the Discord by not just focusing on one trade, and I urge you to consider doing the same. Love you, and we will see you on the next one, hopefully in just a few hours.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control it in my bones.